If you pay sales commissions to your salespeople for sales of goods or services, you can set up CenterPoint to calculate and track those commissions. There's one requirement before you get started with commissions, and that is the requirement of purchasing and registering the inventory module. To check your registration status, you can go to File and to Administration and to Module Configuration Manager. Underneath the CenterPoint product that you own should be some additional modules, and one of them should be called Inventory. If yours says Inventory Owned and it has a check mark next to it, you're ready to go. All you have to do is close out of this screen and you're ready to go. If it says Inventory Owned but there is not a check mark next to it, then you want to put the check mark in the box, click OK, exit out of CenterPoint and come back in, and then your product will be ready to go. If yours does not say Owned next to it, then you're going to need to register it. It's possible that you purchased the inventory module after your initial purchase of CenterPoint, and at that time we probably sent you a new registration code. And so you'll want to re-register CenterPoint. So what you would want to do is close out of here and then go to Help and then Product Registration, go to CenterPoint Registration, and then put in that new registration code. After that, you'll exit out of CenterPoint and come back into CenterPoint, and you should be ready to go. The first step in setting up commissions then after that is to make sure that we set up our salespeople on our names list. So you'll do that by going to Setup in Names and then Names again. I have mine already set up, so I'm going to drop down to one of my salespeople and I'm going to edit them, but you could click New to create a new one and it would take you to the same screen. For each salesperson, we need to mark them as a salesperson and we need to put in their name. Okay, now you can put in additional information if you want to, but what's required is the name and that they're marked as a salesperson. I'm going to go ahead and click Save and then close that. Next, you're going to make sure that you tell CenterPoint how you calculate those commissions, and to do that, you're going to go to Preferences. So we'll select File and then Preferences. On the Preferences screen underneath Customer Invoices, there is going to be an option for Sales Commissions. So we'll select that and then we'll go to the Database tab. You have two options for how you want to assign the sales commissions. You could either assign the commission to the salesperson or to the sales item. If the percentage changes depending on what item that person is selling, then you're likely going to choose to assign it to the sales item. If the percentage is the same, no matter what item that salesperson is selling, then you'll assign it to the salesperson. Mine are set to the salesperson. When an invoice is created, CenterPoint can take and calculate the commission and post it to a commissions payable account and also record it as an expense. To do that, you'll want to check this box where it says Post Commission to a Payable and Expense account, and then you'll choose the payable account in the top box and the expense account in the box below that. Now that might not be ready to pay yet because you might not want to pay those commissions until the customer pays the invoice. So notice that my commissions payable account was called Commissions Pending. I had created an account called Commissions Pending. So I'm just going to hold the commission amount in that account until the customer pays the invoice. After the customer pays the invoice, I'm going to move that amount to a final commissions payable account. Okay, the system can do that for you if you check this box and then choose the final commissions payable account in the box below it. And then finally, you might have customers who have terms assigned to them that allow them to have a discount. And so if you want to adjust the commission for the same percentage as the discount, you would check this box here and it would adjust the commission amount going to the salesperson by the same percentage that the customer received as a term discount. So if you do, you'll check that box right there and then go ahead and save that screen. Now, before I can assign a commission to either my salespeople or to my sales items, I first have to create the commission. To do that, I would go to Setup and then Sales and Sales Commissions. Now, I only have one sales commission. You could have several. If you have different salespeople that have a different percentage, you'd need a different commission for each one of those. Or if you're assigning it to sales items and different items have different percentages, you would need one for each different percentage option. I'm going to edit mine. When you set up a sales commission, you can assign an abbreviation and a name to it, and then you'll choose the method. It'll either be calculated as a percentage of the sales amount, of profit, of cost, or of weight. Mine is of the sales amount, and the amount is 5%. Now, if yours wasn't a percentage at all and it was just a fixed amount, you could leave the percentage as 0 and put the fixed amount into the box below that. Then once you've set up that sales commission, you could click Save. You can continue setting up as many as you need. When you're done, you can close out of that. If you've assigned sales commissions to your sales persons, then we could go back and assign it to the salesperson by going back to our names list. So go to Setup and Names and then Names again. I want to filter this list for just my salespeople. So I'm going to go to the filter, choose salesperson, yes, add that to the filter and apply it. So I only have these 2 salespersons. So I'm going to edit them. And right next to where we marked him as a salesperson, there is a detail button. And on that detail button is where I'm going to choose the commission that is assigned to that salesperson. So I'm just going to select that one and then check to make sure that it is also assigned to this salesperson, and it is. If you had chosen to assign a commission to a sales item, then there's 2 different places you could do that. You could either do it underneath Setup in Sales Items or Setup in Inventory Items. It really takes you to the same list. And then if you edit each item, there is a box for commission, and that's where you would select the commission assigned to that item. Since I chose to assign mine to a salesperson, that box is grayed out. Now, one thing that can make assigning sales commissions a little bit easier to your items a little bit easier is if you have it default into the item each time you create that item or a new item. And you can do that if you assign items to a sales group. Okay, so on that sales group, underneath Setup and Sales Groups, you'll see that I have a place where I can put in a commission that would then default to any new item that you made a member of that group. Now, it doesn't update existing items, but it would allow you to create a default for any new item that got created. Okay, now we're ready to see how this works in a transaction. So we're going to set up a customer invoice. So off screen, I went ahead and set up a customer invoice. You see this customer is assigned to the salesperson, Tom Wilson. And he also has a term that would allow them to have a 2% discount if they pay within 10 days. I've also gone ahead then and selected the items that they're purchasing. So it calculated an invoice of $1,500 and then added the tax to it. But the commission will only be calculated on the sales amount, not on the tax. We'll go ahead and save that invoice, and then we're going to close out of there. We'll go to Transaction Search to look at the journal entries that got created. So here's the journal entry for the invoice itself, but then you'll see that there's a separate journal entry that got created for the commission. So it calculated 5% of that $1,500, and so $75 was posted to that commission's pending account. Okay, so if I opened this up a little bit more, you'd see that there $75 went to commissions pending, and $75 went to the expense account commissions paid. Now we're going to go ahead and put in a transaction to receive the money from the customer. And I'm just going to date that a few days later so that it calculates the discount. So I'm going to date that on, we'll make it at 2/22. And I'm going to choose that customer, Summit Ski Club, and we'll go to apply to invoices, and I'm going to apply it to this invoice here. So since we're paying within the 10-day period, it's also calculating the discount. So we see this $30 discount get calculated below. Okay, that's 2% of the sales amount. So what we also want the system to do is decrease the commission by 2%. So I'm going to adjust the amount there, and we're going to post that transaction. And then underneath transaction search, I'm just going to isolate it to the day of that we received the money from the customer. And at that time, it went ahead and it paid the invoice. So the invoice got paid, but it also made an adjustment to my commissions pending account. So it reduced it by $1.50, which is 2% that the discount was. And then it moved only the 73. So it reduced commissions pending by that $1.50. So now there's $73.50 left in commissions pending. And then the system moved it from commissions pending. I expanded that out a little bit and I kind of lost that for you there. But it moved it from commissions pending to the final commissions account, which is this one here, the final commissions for $73.50. So it does that journal entry at that time. Now there are some reports that can give you information on your commissions, and you can find those underneath reports and underneath transaction reports. There's several sales reports that will give you information on the commissions that got calculated. The sales commissions by invoice will just show you by invoice how much commission got calculated, but that doesn't show you exactly how much was the final amount. That just shows you the amount at the time of the invoice. But underneath sales commission accounts, I can see all of the transactions that went to the different sales commissions accounts. So I would see here that this is the final amount that is payable to this particular salesperson. So you can explore some of the other reports. Some of the other reports do allow you to add commissions to them. So you'll want to explore some of the other reports underneath the sales section here for reports.